beautiful papers.
Today we're going to be working.
No, our birthday's not till like the summer.
Today we're going to be Do you guys all remember what we did last time, making connections and all that jazz? Mm-hmm. Today we're going to be taking it a little bit of a step farther. Does anybody know what the word inference means? Avon.
I think it's like a hypothesis or a guess on something when you infer something.
Uh-huh.
Like, I'm going to assume this is about that.
Yes, exactly. It's like when you're in a science class and you hypothesize about, like, I think if you just this will happen. It's sort of like you make a guess, you make an educated guess based on prior experience or prior knowledge to kind of guess something that's going to happen. And we sort of thought that like that would be a good place to go from connections, because a lot of making inferences about something is sort of building off of prior connections that you make. So who can name the kind of connections that we worked with? What was one of them?
Text to text.
Text to text?
Text yourself.
Text yourself?
Text to society.
Mm-hmm. Text the world. So who here has heard of Ernest Hemingway before? Have you read him in your English classes?
No.
Okay, well, he's a really famous author, and he's really famous for writing in a really simple style, but kind of saying a lot of stuff. Anyway, so one day he was in a bar with some of his friends, and they bet him that he couldn't write a novel, he bet them that he could write a novel in 6 words. And his 6-word novel was, look at the top of your papers that I'm about to pass out to you.
What? Can I see?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
For sale, baby shoes, never worn. What are your impressions when you read that?
How is this a novel?
How is it a novel?
Yeah.
How do you define a novel?
Like a long story.
Yeah, like a long story or book type of deal. Different chapters.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Vaughn?
I would think like a story.
Uh-huh.
And this looks like a
Craigslist ad.
The Craigslist ad? But the thing about novels is that they tell complete stories. And despite the fact that this is 6 words, there is something.
Oh, wait.
Mm-hmm.
I can infer that these baby shoes were made especially in a factory. And,
You think so?
Yeah, they were stolen. This guy was like, I'm going to steal something. He stole some baby shoes, and he's like, I have no use for these. So,
Based on what evidence?
based on for sale baby shoes never worn.
Uh-huh.
He doesn't have a baby.
Uh-huh.
And
Think he stole them?
yeah.
See, as Kayvon just demonstrated, there are a lot of possibilities. There are a lot of possible ways to interpret this. So Hemingway's kind of famous for like writing very little, but like the little words that he writes actually pack a lot of stuff. And this is sort of like the epitome of that, or like the very prime example of that sort of writing style. So a lot of like when I read this, I was like, okay, for sale, baby shoes never worn. There are a lot of things that suggests. And yeah, I forget that stuff on the back. That's just junk. But so to kind of like figure out what this sort of was suggesting, I sort of made an inference based on my prior experiences, and to sort of draw upon those prior experiences, I made some connections. So if you could take a couple seconds to look at that model, you can sort of figure out my process.
I'm sorry, I'm just so taken in by the color.
The words aren't very important.
We just recycled paper.
Yeah, we just recycled paper.
Good. Yeah. And the moral in this case kind of is like what the person learned, right? So that could be part of the summary if we were included all the other details, but just that on its own, someone taking away the big message.
That's so depressing. That's such a depressing thing to infer.
It's possible.
Oh,
It's possible.
Yeah.
I just realized.
I drew from my prior experience.
A couple maybe unexpectedly died at birth. A miscarriage when they were getting ready to buy shoes. They bought blue because they didn't want to get pink for a girl or green for a boy. And they didn't know if it was going to be a boy or a girl yet. And it died. They never knew. And they sell the shoes. Like, you know, I don't know.
Well, they would have known.
He's making an inference. This is an inference right
This is an
there.
example
Oh, okay.
of a story.
Thank you,
They got
Kayla.
taken away.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
On the birthday.
Could have gotten kidnapped. So, what inferences can you make, Tino?
The baby got taken away by those one people because the parents were bad parents.
Hmm.
And then they're like, oh, we need money for stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The baby's a caveman. He doesn't like
So, do you have some sort of prior experience that kind of backs that up?
No, I don't.
Okay. See, a lot of making inferences is drawing upon what you already know to make a conclusion to something that's not exactly obvious.
What did you
Those
have?
are the wrong size.
That could be. That could be too.
It
It
could
also
be.
be the wrong color. They didn't want blue.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they didn't want green.
Yeah.
It was a girl. Or pink.
Just think about maybe
Or they were
shoes
really
that.
ugly and they didn't want their child to wear them.
Answer question number 1.
Yeah.
Could be.
Has anyone here ever had a gift, a present of clothing given to them by someone and it didn't fit you?
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking too.
I still wear it every day.
And
That's
then
pants,
after
right?
you've answered
Maybe the baby was born with 2 left feet.
you're going to work your way through
Maybe.
the test.
So as you can see, we've all got like a lot of different experiences that sort of color how we see these things. And so that's sort of what we're working with today is using your prior experiences, making connections to make some inferences. So we're going to be working a little more with our friend Mr. Hemingway.
Yeah, so we have this story that's called Hills Like White Elephants by Hemingway. It's a little longer than the 6-word story novel that we just read. That's the last word. There you go.
So there are 3 parts. There's the narrator who reads the first paragraph. There's the guy,
Oh, there's no thanks.
there's the guy, and there's the girl. Who wants to read the narrator?
I will read the narrator.
Who wants to be the guy?
Tina will be the guy.
Where's the guy?
Oh, so
Do you want to play the role of the female character?
Sure, it's kind
You
of
don't
hard
have to, but
yeah, so the
tell which is which.
yeah, it doesn't clearly say, but
which
the girl
should
is
we
the girl
drink
is
the girl?
yeah, the girl is the first one to speak, and they just sort of alternate line. They just sort of
Yeah, they
alternate lines of
alternate.
dialogue.
So the first person talking, what should we drink, would be the girl's role.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
All right.
Yeah.
All
Okay.
right, Sam, want to start us off?
Alright. The hills across the valley of Ebro were long and white. On this side there was no shade and no trees, and the station was between the 2 lines of the rails of the sun. Close against the side of the station there was a warm shadow of the building, and the curtain, made of strings of bamboo and beads, hung across the open door into the bar to keep out flies. The American and the girl with him sat at the table in the shade outside the building. It was very hot, and the express from the Barcelona would come in 40 minutes. It stopped at this junction for 2 minutes and went to Madrid,
What should we drink?
the girl asked. She had taken off her hat and put it on the table.
It's pretty hot.
The man said.
Let's drink beer.
Dos cerveza?
The man said into the curtain.
Big ones?
A woman asked from the doorway.
Yes. 2 big ones.
The woman brought 2 glasses of beer and 2 felt pads. She put the felt